What up everybody, it's your boy Nautical back at it with another video. So we're going to talk about GameStop and something that's going to happen this holiday that hasn't happened in over 3 years, and I don't think it's ever happened when it came to GameStop to this date. And that will be the fact that GameStop will finally open its doors, not just on Black Friday, but the day before on Thanksgiving Day. Now the company hasn't announced any type of hours or shifts that's going to be available for that day, but they did say it will be shorter shifts than usual. This article is published by Kotaku, who actually had a chance to talk to 2 GameStop associates that basically wanted to reach out to them to let them know of their dismay of what the company is doing about opening on this day of the year. So I'm going to read some of this article to let you know exactly what was said. So GameStop will be open on Thanksgiving Day this year. The company told staff during a series of conference calls this morning, according to 2 people who were on those calls, it's a change of policy that has upset some employees of the massive video game retail chain. The company has not yet finalized Thanksgiving hours, but it will be a shorter day than usual, which has not helped alleviate the concern of employees speaking to Kotaku who enjoyed the company's previous policy of not opening on Thanksgiving. To better serve our guests with the evolving holiday shopping needs, this year GameStop will open its stores for a short and limited time on Thanksgiving Day. The company told Kotaku in a statement this afternoon, many of our store associates and guests have asked for this. We have heard their requests and are making adjustments to our previous position on this topic. 3 years ago, GameStop announced plans to close all stores on Thanksgiving, telling press that the move was out of respect for the company's employees and their families. In 2014, the company had this to say to think progress. At GameStop, we often use the phrase protect the family in reference to our business. A large part of what that means to us is not to open any of our GameStop, Simply Mac, Spring Mobile, or Cricket Wireless US locations on Thanksgiving Day. Out of respect for our store associates and their families and friends, we believe it's the right decision not only for our employees, but also for the customers. Enjoy this time with your loved ones, and we'll see you on Black Friday. And for the last 2 years, GameStop actually kept that promise. They did not open on Thanksgiving Day from 2015 to 2016, but this year the company has seemed to have a change of heart. Alrighty then, so let's have a conversation about how this is actually going to probably play out. Now let's just remember that these are associates that work at GameStop, and the people that talk about this in the comment section are people that aren't in those shoes. Unless you work at a GameStop, you really can't speak to how these people feel about it. Me personally, the people that actually leaked this out to Kotaku in an article are just some of the few associates that probably just don't get it. I give GameStop a lot of credit for holding on to its beliefs and its standards for the last 2 years, knowing that their sales have been declining every year when it comes to sales on Black Friday, and only because they know that other retailers are going to be able to sell more things. They try to combat that by having more exotic stuff in the store that you can actually pick up with, like the pop figures and the collectibles, and that stuff has ramped up a lot over the course of the last couple of years. But ultimately, GameStop is a specialized retailer in video game technology. They sell games, systems, everything else that you could think of, and this is the number one reason that people want to shop on Thursday to get a lot of the stuff. If it's not them buying the big screen TV, they're buying video game consoles, and they're buying games to go under the tree to go with the systems that they're buying for their kids that holiday. Now there's other retailers out there, but when you're talking about technology and entertainment, this is the type of stuff people buy on Black Friday and on the day before Black Friday. So GameStop, I admire them for holding on to their morals this long, but ultimately this is something that was a long time coming. I believe most of those associates in there, if they have an invested interest in their store, like store managers and assistant store managers, or just key holders in general, if they want their store to be profitable and they want to exceed in their expectations and what their actual mission for their store is, they have to be open during the days that the business is going to be there. And that is one day that GameStop has been missing out on for the last 3 years. So this is nothing that I didn't expect, and most people shouldn't expect anything less from a company that wants to make money and wants to be profitable for the rest of the whole year. So I don't have a problem with it, but I do understand that some associates are going to find this as off-putting. And unfortunately, this is the situation you deal with when you work in retail. Retail is one of the most demanding jobs that a person can have because it asks a lot of you. It asks you to always be adaptable. It's asking you always to change your way of thinking. And it only gets worse when you become a manager because you have to understand the ebb and flows of your business, and you have to be able to hire, train, and get people to commit to the same excellence that you are. And if you can do that, you'll be super successful in retail and you can go a long way in retail. But it is not easy. It takes a lot of dedication and a lot of hard work to do it. So it really comes down to these associates that really are upset by this. You have to look yourself in the mirror and say, if I want my store to be successful, is this the right move for the company to make to help me be successful? At some point, you have to be given the tools to succeed. Up until this point, GameStop hasn't given you the tool at all when it comes to opening your stores on Thursday. So this was kind of a mute point. But now this is their reaction to what they feel like they need to do to succeed as a company. And if you do not feel like that as an associate, you may have to look at yourself in the mirror and say, is this right for me? And that's literally how I feel about it. But going on to the last thing that I want to say is, it feels like this isn't the only thing that was probably said in these calls. I feel like there's more to it. We don't know if any of these people are going to be getting paid any extra time for doing it. We don't know if there's any perks for people that work on this day. All we hear is the negative side of people not wanting to do it. And that's understandable because sometimes family is worth more than anything else. And I can definitely understand that as being a person that is a father of 2 kids and married. I can understand that 100%. And there is nothing like having that time to spend with those people, because you do spend most of your time in the stores when you work in retail. But I guarantee you there is something behind this, and there's probably some type of compensation plan. There's probably something they're going to do for their associates, because people really set out to actually tell people that GameStop is one of the worst retailers to work for. And I can honestly tell you that that is not the case, because I know a lot of these associates. I know a lot of managers that actually make sure that they put their associates first when it comes to everything that they do in their store to make their work environments the best it could possibly be. I know that those associates will break their backs to make sure that guests actually get the things that they want in their store so they can actually benefit from their repeat business, because guests are not going to shop in your store if you are not doing the things you need to do to help them and benefit them in their endeavors and buying what they need. But that's what I think about the whole thing. I honestly believe there's more to it, but until somebody comes out and says what it is, we're only going to hear about the negative stuff that's coming from just this whole ordeal. And unfortunately, it seems like this is a narrative that those 2 associates wanted to put out about the image of GameStop and how they feel like they're just dismissing what the associates want and going against everything that they said they were going to do for the last 2 years by opening on Black Friday. But guys, what do you think? Do you think this is a smart business move for GameStop to open up on Thursday and actually take advantage of those deals with the rest of the other retailers? Talk about it in the comment section. Also, if you worked at GameStop, what would it take for you to want to work on Black Friday to actually help your store be better? If you were a store manager, how would you feel about this? Let's talk about that in the comment section too. Thanks for watching this video. Make sure you sub to the channel if you haven't. Like this video if you like the content. Turn on those notifications. It's gonna let you know the next time my video goes live. It's your boy Nautical, and I will see you guys in the next video, and y'all have a great week. Peace.